Captain Jiwoo Park felt cold metal against her back as she woke up. The cryopod door opened with a hiss. Her eyes hurt from the bright lights. Strange faces looked down at her, faces that weren't human. "The human is awake," said a tall being, with skin that shimmered like water. Its voice sounded hollow as if coming through a tube. Jiwoo tried to move, but straps held her down. Her mouth felt dry. Her head pounded. She looked around quickly, counting 6 aliens in the room. The medical equipment looked advanced but unfamiliar. "Where am I?" she asked, her voice rough from lack of use. The tallest alien stepped closer. It had 4 arms and eyes that glowed soft blue. "I am Magistrate Coral of the Galactic Council. You are on our ship, the Arbiter. You have been asleep for 3 years." Memories rushed back to Jiwoo. The attack on Earth. The emergency alarms. People running to escape pods. Her crew pushing her into the captain's emergency cryopod as the ship broke apart. "My planet? My crew?" she asked, already fearing the answer. Corill's eyes dimmed slightly. "Earth no longer exists. Our search teams found no other human life signs. Anywhere. You appear to be the last of your kind." Jiwoo stopped struggling against her restraints. The words didn't make sense at first. How could Earth be gone? 7 billion people, all gone? "That's not possible," she whispered. A smaller alien with green scales moved forward, holding up a device. It projected a hologram showing the remains of what might have once been Earth, now just a field of rocks and dust where a planet should be. "This was recorded 2 years ago," the scaled alien said. Jiwoo felt her chest tighten. She couldn't breathe. The room seemed to spin around her. The last human. She was the last human alive in the entire galaxy. "Water," she managed to say. A thin alien with 4 eyes brought her a cup with blue liquid. It didn't taste like water, but it eased her dry throat. "Why am I restrained?" Jiwoo asked. "I'm hardly a threat to you." Corill made a gesture that might have been discomfort. "Captain Park, this is not a rescue mission. You have been located and detained for a specific purpose." "What purpose?" "Justice," said a new voice. Another alien entered the room. This one was tall and thin with skin like polished stone. It wore elaborate robes with symbols Jiwoo didn't recognize. "I am High Prosecutor Nal," it said. "You have been brought here to stand trial." "Trial?" Jiwoo tried to sit up against her restraints. "For what?" "For the crimes of humanity," Nal replied coldly. "Your species has committed grave offenses against many peaceful civilizations. As the last human, you will answer for these crimes." Jiwoo stared in disbelief. "We were attacked. I saw the enemy ships myself. We were defending ourselves." Nal's face showed no emotion. "That is not what our records show. The Council has extensive evidence of human aggression spanning decades." "That's a lie," Jiwoo shouted, then winced as pain shot through her head. Corill raised a hand. "You will have opportunity to present your version of events at trial. For now you need rest and medical attention." Jiwoo felt a cold rush in her arm as one of the medical aliens injected something into her. Her vision began to blur again. "The trial begins in 3 days," she heard Nal say as darkness closed in. "Make peace with your gods, human. Justice will be served." Before she lost consciousness, Jiwoo made a silent promise to herself and to Earth. She would not let them turn her into a scapegoat. She would find out what really happened to her planet. Someone had destroyed Earth and was now trying to blame humans for crimes they didn't commit. And she, Captain Jiwoo Park, the last survivor of humanity, would make them pay. Jiwoo stood in the center of the massive council chamber. It felt like standing at the bottom of a deep well with thousands of creatures looking down at her. The room was round with rows of seats rising high up the walls. Every seat held a different alien. Some had too many eyes. Some had no eyes at all. Some looked almost human. Others were just clouds of gas or patches of moving light. They all watched her, the last human. 2 guards stood next to Jiwoo. They weren't touching her, but their weapons were ready. The floor beneath her feet was a circle of white light. She had been told not to step outside of it. Council beings and honored representatives, said Prosecutor Nal, moving to the center of the chamber. His blue skin shimmered under the lights. His 6 fingers moved gracefully as he spoke. Today we examine the crimes of humanity. A huge screen appeared in the air. It showed Earthships firing on smaller vessels. Evidence item 317, Nal continued. Human military vessel. Dauntless attacking Tari trading ships without warning or cause. Jiwoo felt her heart race. That's not right, she said. The Dauntless was defending. Silence, ordered the head counselor, a tall being with 4 arms. The accused will speak when permitted. Nal touched a control panel. More images appeared. Earth ships mining on planets where small alien communities lived. Earth soldiers with weapons facing unarmed aliens. Document after document showing broken treaties and agreements. For 30 years, humans expanded into space, taking what they wanted, Nal said. They ignored our laws. They took resources from weaker species. They built weapons when we asked for peace. A low sound of anger moved through the crowd. Some aliens made clicking noises. Others hissed. Jiwoo felt very alone. The evidence proves that humanity was dangerous. Nal continued. The Council tried diplomacy many times. Humans rejected all peaceful solutions. Jiwoo couldn't stay quiet. That's not true. We were attacked first. The facts are clear, Nal interrupted. Captain Park, as the last human, you represent your entire species. You are charged with crimes against sentient beings. If found guilty, you will remain in council custody until your natural death. The head counselor looked around the chamber. Does any being wish to speak in defense of humanity? Silence filled the room. Jiwoo felt her last hope fading. Then a small voice called out, I will defend the human. The crowd turned to look at a small copper-skinned alien making his way to the central floor. He walked with quick, precise steps. He barely reached Jiwoo's shoulder. State your name and purpose, the head counselor said. I am Tai Ho of the Miran people, the small alien said. I am a scholar of extinct civilizations. Nal made a dismissive gesture. This is a serious trial, not a research opportunity. I have studied human history extensively, Tai Ho continued, ignoring Nal. The evidence presented does not match my research. I believe there are serious questions about these accusations. Your request is unusual, the head counselor said, after a moment. But our laws allow for an advisor to the accused. Request granted. Taeho stepped closer to Jiwoo. His eyes were large and amber-colored with rectangular pupils. I don't know you, Jiwoo whispered, suspicious. Why help me? I've spent my life studying dead civilizations, Taeho whispered back. But I've never before had the chance to speak with the last survivor of one. Something about the council's evidence feels wrong, and, he hesitated, I believe in justice. This trial continues tomorrow, the head counselor announced. The human and her advisor will be given access to the evidence against humanity. As the guards led Jiwoo away, Taeho walked beside her. They're lying, Jiwoo said quietly. Earth was defending itself. I believe you, Taeho replied. But belief isn't enough. We need proof. How can we find proof when my planet is destroyed and I'm the only human left? Taeho gave her a strange smile. Sometimes the truth survives in unexpected places. Tell me, Captain Park, what do you remember about Earth's final days? For the first time since waking, Jiwoo felt something besides despair. It was small, but it was there. Hope Jiwoo sat on the hard bench in her cell. The walls glowed with a soft blue light. There was no window, no way to see the stars. She wondered if she would ever see stars again. The door slid open. Taeho entered carrying a small flat device. I got access to the evidence files, he said, sitting beside her. We don't have much time. Jiwoo leaned close as Taeho activated the data pad. Images from the trial appeared. Earth ships firing on alien vessels. Something always bothered me about these recordings, Jiwoo said. She pointed to the stars visible in the background of one video. Look at the star pattern here. Taeho zoomed in on the area she indicated. According to the timestamp, this happened near Proxima Centauri, Jiwoo continued. But that's not the right star pattern for that region. Those stars shouldn't be visible. From that position, Taiho's eyes widened. You're right. He quickly checked other recordings. This one too. And this one. They're fake, Jiwoo said. Or at least altered, but how do we prove it? She paced the small cell, thinking. Then she stopped suddenly and touched the back of her neck. My neural implant, she said. All fleet captains have them. They record everything we see and hear. They also sync with Earth's defense network. Taeho looked troubled. If the Council discovers you have unauthorized technology, I'm already facing a death sentence, Jiwoo said. What more can they do to me? How would we access it? You'd need to extract it, Jiwoo said. It's just under the skin. Taeho hesitated. I'll need special tools, and guards check on you regularly. Can you get what we need? Taeho nodded slowly. I have connections in the medical bay, but Jiwoo, this is dangerous. More dangerous than letting the galaxy believe humans were monsters? She asked. My entire species is gone, Taeho. All I have left is their memory. I won't let it be a lie. That night, Jiwoo lay face down on her bench. Taeho worked quickly with tools he had smuggled in his clothes. His fingers were small but skilled. Try not to move, he whispered. Jiwoo bit her lip as he made a small cut at the base of her skull. The pain was sharp but brief. Got it, Taeho said after a moment. He held up a tiny silver chip. Now we need to read it. He connected the chip to his datapad. Immediately the screen filled with data. Video recordings, audio files, coordinates, communication logs, all from the perspective of Captain Jiwoo Park. They worked through the night sorting through the information. What they found made Jiwoo's blood run cold. There, she said, pointing to a communication log. 3 days before the attack on Earth, our sensors detected unknown ships entering the solar system. We sent peaceful greetings in all languages. Taeho played the response that came back. Move aside or be removed. This system is now claimed by Council authority. And look at this, Jiwoo continued, showing him another file. Earth's final transmission to the Council, begging for peace talks even as the attack began. Most damning of all was a classified Council document, intercepted by Earth's intelligence network. Operation Clean Slate, authorization for first strike against the human homeworld, signed by High Councilors Mech, Drone, and Valos. This changes everything, Taeho whispered. The next day in court, silence fell as Taeho approached the center of the chamber. Honored Council, he began. I have discovered evidence that proves humanity's innocence. Prosecutor Nal jumped up. What evidence? All files were provided to the court. Not all files, Taeho said. He activated a projection device. The chamber filled with images from Jiwoo's neural implant. Earthships holding fire until attacked. Peace broadcasts being ignored. The secret council order authorizing Earth's destruction. Gasps and murmurs spread through the alien audience. These records came directly from Captain Park's neural implant, Taeho explained. They cannot be altered or faked. They show clearly that humanity was defending itself. They were not the aggressors. This is outrageous, Nal shouted. This evidence was not properly submitted. Jiwoo stepped forward, facing the council directly. The real question, she said, her voice strong and clear, is not whether humanity was guilty. The evidence proves we were not. She paused, looking at each council member. The real question is, why was Earth really destroyed? Who ordered it? And what were they trying to hide? The chamber erupted in chaos. Some council members were shouting, others were leaving their seats in protest. The head counselor banged a gavel repeatedly, trying to restore order. In the confusion, Taeho leaned close to Jiwoo. We've opened the door, he whispered. But be careful. Those who destroyed Earth will not want this truth revealed. Jiwoo nodded. For the first time since waking in this alien world, she felt a fierce purpose. Earth was gone, but justice for humanity might still be possible. The trial resumed the next day with tension filling the chamber. Many seats remained empty. Some council members had not returned after yesterday's revelations. Guards stood at every entrance. Prosecutor Nal appeared nervous. He shuffled his notes and avoided looking at Jiwoo. "Before we continue," the head counselor announced, "Counselor Minji Lee has requested to address this chamber." A slender alien with pale pink skin and silver eyes rose from her seat. Counselor Minji Lee represented the Saurian people, an old and respected species. She walked slowly to the center of the chamber. "Honored members," she began, her voice soft but clear. "I have served on this council for 30 years. In that time, I have always believed in our mission of peace and justice." She paused, looking around the room. "Yesterday's evidence troubles me deeply. I have spent the night searching our sealed archives. What I found there is disturbing." Nal jumped to his feet. "Counselor Lee has no authority to access sealed records." "I have level 7 clearance," Minji replied calmly, "and what I discovered affects every species in this galaxy." She activated a holographic display. Ancient star charts appeared showing Earth and its solar system. 2 years before Earth's destruction, human scientists made a discovery. The display changed to show laboratories where humans worked with strange equipment. They called it resonance technology. The images showed devices generating energy without fuel. For thousands of years, interstellar travel and advanced technology have depended on rare minerals, Minji explained. Minerals controlled by the founding council species. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Jiwoo leaned forward, watching intently. "Resonance technology changes everything," Minji continued. "It creates clean, unlimited energy without these minerals. Human scientists were preparing to share this discovery with other worlds." The display showed communication logs between Earth and developing alien civilizations. "Earth wasn't destroyed because humans were aggressive," Minji said, her voice growing stronger. "Earth was destroyed because this technology threatened the economic control certain council members have maintained for centuries." The chamber erupted. Some aliens shouted in anger. Others turned to their neighbors in disbelief. Several council members from the oldest species stormed toward the exits. "This is treason," one shouted. "These are lies," called another. The head counselor banged his gavel repeatedly. "Order, I demand order." When the noise finally died down, Jiwoo stepped forward. "My people weren't perfect," she said, looking around at the alien faces. "We made mistakes. We sometimes acted from fear. But we did not deserve extinction." She stood tall, alone in the center of the alien court. "When we discovered resonance technology, our first thought was how it could help everyone. We planned to share it freely. That's why Earth had to be destroyed, not because we were dangerous, but because we threatened the power of a few." More shouting followed. The head counselor finally ordered the chamber cleared. "This trial is suspended, pending investigation," he announced. "All parties will remain on the station until further notice." Guards escorted Jiwoo back to her cell. Hours passed. She sat alone, wondering what would happen next. Had she gone too far? Would the truth be buried again? Late that night, her cell door slid open. Taiho rushed in, his copper skin flushed with excitement. "Jiwoo, get up quickly. What's happening?" she asked, standing. "Everything is changing," Taiho said. "Half the council is calling for the resignation of the founding members. 3 have already stepped down. Species that have been silent for centuries are demanding answers." His eyes were bright with excitement. "The High Council is convening an emergency session. The 7 oldest counselors, those who have never been implicated in any corruption. They want to see you." "Me? Why?" "I don't know," Taiho admitted. "But Counselor Minji will be there. She's fighting for you. For justice." Jiwoo took a deep breath. "When do we go?" "Now," Taiho said. "Right now." As they hurried through the corridors, Taiho whispered, "Whatever happens in that room will change the galaxy forever." Jiwoo nodded. She was no longer just fighting for humanity's memory. She was fighting for a truth that could free countless species across the stars. For the first time since waking in this alien world, she felt truly alive. The High Council chamber was unlike any room Jiwoo had seen before. It was round and made of stone that looked thousands of years old. Strange symbols covered the walls. The ceiling opened to the stars above. 7 tall chairs formed a circle in the center. In each sat an elder council member. These were the oldest and most respected beings in the galaxy. They came from 7 different species. None had been involved in the plot against Earth. Jiwoo stood in the middle of their circle. Taiho and Counselor Minji waited nearby. High Counselor Doyun was the oldest. His skin was pale white with age. His 4 eyes had turned cloudy. He needed help to stand. "Captain Jiwoo Park of Earth," he said, his voice surprisingly strong. "In 5,000 years of this council's history, no case has ever shaken us like yours." The chamber was completely silent. "We have examined all evidence," Doyen continued. "We have opened sealed archives dating back centuries. We have questioned those involved." He paused. "The truth is now clear to us." Jiwoo held her breath. "This council finds that the destruction of Earth and humanity was a crime of unimaginable scale. It was planned and carried out by members of our own government to maintain economic control and prevent the spread of resonance technology." Gasps echoed through the chamber. Jiwoo felt tears forming in her eyes. "Captain Park, you are cleared of all charges. This council officially recognizes humanity as the victim of the greatest injustice in our recorded history." Tears ran down Jiwoo's face. She didn't try to hide them. Her people were gone, but at least the truth was now known. "We cannot bring back your world," Doyen said more softly. "But we can honor its memory. This council declares a galactic day of remembrance for Earth. All council resources will be dedicated to preserving human culture, art, knowledge, and history." Another counselor stood then. This was Hyun, a being with features like a cat and skin covered in short blue fur. "My people, the Very, possess advanced genetic technology," Hyun said. "With Captain Park's consent and DNA, we might one day restore human genetic diversity. It would take time, perhaps many years, but humanity might yet have a future among the stars." Jiwoo couldn't speak. The possibility of not being the last human forever was overwhelming. "This council is reformed as of today," Doyen announced. "The corrupt members have been removed. Resource monopolies are abolished. Resonance technology will be shared freely with all species." He turned to Jiwoo again. "Captain Park, the council offers you a ship and crew. You will have full authority to travel where you wish, to preserve human knowledge, and perhaps to find a new world for your kind." 3 months later, Jiwoo stood on the bridge of her new ship. It was beautiful and fast, with technology Earth had never seen. She had named it Earth's Memory. The ship was staffed by volunteers from 12 different species. All wanted to help the last human and learn from her. Many had become her friends. Jiwoo wore a new uniform, dark blue with Earth's symbol on the shoulder. Around her neck hung a small container with DNA samples from her body. Someday they might become the first of a new generation of humans. She stood at the large window looking at the stars. For the first time since waking up as the last human, she felt peace. Taeho joined her at the window. He had become her closest friend and advisor. "The ship is ready," he said. "Where do you want to go first?" Jiwoo considered the star map. The galaxy was vast. There were countless worlds to explore. "First, I want to visit the worlds that were planning to work with Earth on resonance technology," she said. "They were our friends before the end. They should be the first to receive the technology now." Taeho nodded. "And after that?" Jiwoo touched the DNA container at her neck. "After that, we look for a new home. A place where humanity might start again someday." She smiled slightly. "A place worthy of everything Earth was and everything it could have been." The ship's engines hummed to life. The stars outside began to move as Earth's memory turned toward its first destination. The galaxy would never forget the trial that exposed its darkest secret. Worlds that had never known of Earth now spoke of the small blue planet and its people with respect. Schools taught the story of how human innovation nearly changed the galaxy, and how fear of that change led to tragedy. And everyone knew the name of Jiwoo Park, the last human whose courage and determination had changed everything. For the first time, Jiwoo looked to the future with hope.